Hello everybody, I hope everybody's well. This is Rajabhakti Park, which is just south of Hua Hin. I'll make this a really quick vlog because I know not everybody's interested in the history and the kings of Thailand, but I find it fascinating. I find the workmanship fascinating. I like this park. It's an interesting time to experience it because the first time I came here, which was 4 years ago, it was very, very busy. It was full of people enjoying themselves. I'm gonna walk across another guy filming here. We'll have to live with it. It was full of families enjoying themselves, and they would sit over here. There was cover at that time. There was places for them to sit behind, but it's you know, it's different now. It's a lot quieter. But a friend of mine who lives in Hua Hin said to me, they could have done so much more. They could have done this and could have done that. But I think that's a westernized view. We've westernized ourselves into feeling like we have to be entertained constantly. So if you go to Buckingham Palace, people are going to sell you Coke, they're going to sell you overpriced beer, they're going to sell you cheap tat made in China, which has absolutely nothing to do with anything other than getting every penny out of you that they can. So this was built in 2015, so 6 years ago now, 7 years ago now. And it's 7 of the great kings, 7 of the great dynasties. I'll just go through them very briefly. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but you know, I find it interesting. I think it's important to understand the history of a country that you're interested in, because the history generally dictates people's culture. A lot of things define culture, language and history and relationships and religion and all those things, but the respect for the kings here and the royal family shouldn't be understated. It's part of their culture, very much indebted into their culture, embedded. So this is King Ramakan the Great. It's from the Sukhothai dynasty. I'd like to get a little bit closer, but I think you'll lose the scope. But the workmanship, the bronze workmanship, when you get up close, is just incredible. I could literally just stand and look at it for hours and hours. It's incredible to me, and I have done in the past. This is King Narasan the Great. As I said, I'm no expert on Thai history. It's something that I will start spending more time in because I think it's important. Other countries I've lived in, I've got interested in their history, and it always explains a few things. If you don't understand certain behavioral traits, it always explains a few things. So this is King Nairai the Great, 1656, which I think was the Ayutthaya dynasty, because if you look at the hats, that's when they seem to pop up. It's quite interesting that before that, it was quite similar to what they were wearing in the West at the time. King Taskin the Great, one of the great kings, 1766 to 1782. I mean, how they even have the records of their faces like that, it's just from paintings, it's incredible. I'll try this, I'm sure my pronunciation is going to be terrible, but we'll go with it. King Buddha Yonphak Shaluk, the great Rama I. So this is the start of the Chakira dynasty, the first in that dynasty, 1782 to 1809. Try pan up a little bit so you can see it. So this is Rama IV, King Mugatu. Is 1851 to 1868, and that could have been pretty much any country if you look at the way that it dressed. It's very similar to what we had in the West, the Boer War and that kind of stuff. But it's their history. It's a celebration of their history. And this is the great Rama IV. And I'm sure the next king, the last king from the same dynasty, will also end up here at some point. And I suspect when he does that, the Thais will flock here. There's been some controversy about how this was funded, but you know, I don't think that's any of my business to start getting involved in Thai politics, and I don't intend to. But what I will say is, it's a shame that so few people come here. There's a water park over there. It's full of people enjoying themselves, which I understand. But to come spend 20 minutes to pop out here and experience and enjoy this, I think it's worth it for everybody. For me, I would sit over in the shade, bring some food, enjoy yourself, bask in the beauty of the hills and the trees. They put a lot of effort into this place, and it's managed by the army, and they're very friendly. And if you're in Hua Hin, I mean, I wouldn't drive 10 hours to come here. It's not that, but if you're in Hua Hin, just make the trip. It's 10 minutes in the car, just south of Kautakya. Absolutely stunning as far as I'm concerned, and fascinating as well. So that's it. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but for those that are interested in Hua Hin in particular, and the royal family, I think it'll be worth the view. Appreciate it, everybody. Have a great day.